And it was asking for a code from either my phone or email, and I would click it and it wouldn't send me the codes.
And this was to update stuff
Um,
for my
like
customers?
bank account, social security number.
Oh, that's weird.
It had an old phone number I needed to change, and it wasn't letting me edit it.
All right.
Now, this was last week. I haven't tried again this week.
Okay, you know what? Let me get in here. Because yeah, I love that little checklist. Isn't that checklist great?
Yes. That was the only thing I couldn't do. Everything else I got done,
Uh-huh.
but I was like, "Oh, okay, it says I need my social security number in there and it says I need my bank."
Yeah.
So then when I went, I noticed a couple other things that needed to get updated,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't letting me edit without the code, but it wasn't sending me the code.
Could you have been sending it to your old phone number?
Oh, that could be.
No, because I tried it as email too.
And it wouldn't send an email and it wasn't like going to somewhere weird.
No.
Okay. I'm looking for the checklist. Scrolling. I love it when I have stuff for you guys ready to go and then I can't find it when I need it. Isn't that so great? Do you have it handy, Amy?
I probably do. Let me see.
Okay, if you've got it. Meanwhile, I'm going to welcome everybody who's watching on the stream. Happy Monday, everybody. We are talking about the magic of e-commerce. How great it's going to be. We just got to.
Okay, yeah, I have it.
Okay, are you able to share? I think you can share from where you are.
Can I?
Yeah.
Let me see. Where do I go? Share screen?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Just like the entire thing, like that?
Yeah, it'll maybe give you some choices, but if it's a picture. So now.
Okay. Am I sharing now?
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Okay, there's the checklist.
All right. So, Amy, I'm putting you in charge to kind of talk everybody through what you've already done.
Okay. So I checked my customers.
Right.
And all of my orders are complete and I don't need anything from more than 2 years ago. So I was good there.
Right. Good.
If you want any old information from more than 2 years ago, you need to find a way to save it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
And then I watched the video in What You Need to Know, which was really great.
Excellent.
And I took little notes on it.
Good.
And then reviewed the last 2 years where I did that. Okay, this is where I got stuck. So Shop Manager and Stripe pre-work.
Okay.
In your Mary Kay InTouch account, update your profile to add a preferred banking institution for direct deposit.
Okay.
This is where it was asking for a code and then not sending it to me. It could have just been last week and now it's fine. Like I said, I haven't tried it again today.
So let me ask you this. When you get commissions, is it into ProPay or is it in a debit card, gift card thing, or is it into your account?
It's into my little pink.
The pink card. Mary Kay card. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing that you would definitely want to make sure we get switched over for you.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say if you have a chance to check it tomorrow and it doesn't work, we need to call the company and have them help you.
Okay.
Because that's probably the last thing you've got to do, right?
For that one, yeah. And then if you want me to keep going, next month you need to start working on your iStory, because you're going to add that to your e-commerce site, and selecting photos.
Yes.
And things that you want to showcase. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait.
I think it's going to be really great, you guys. Seriously.
And then watch for the other tutorial videos.
Yes. And then that's perfect. Thank you, my friend. Go ahead and cut the screen there. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi.
What I think is really important also is you guys make sure that by Friday night, that if you've got anything in your ProPay to go ahead and transfer it. It's not like it's going to cut off, on Saturday and you won't have access to your ProPay funds.
Okay.
But I want you to get it out of there.
Okay.
Just so that you have it out of there. I mean, they're not gonna drop the puck until December on this, but I want you to kind of, be ready. And that's just a personal thing. Just get it, if people are going to use their card through the website and stuff, because they're going to start the gentle introduction of things throughout November, it sounds like, and we'll be getting more information that'll undoubtedly give us more questions. But I think it's going to be really user friendly. There were a couple of things we learned on Saturday when Mary Jo was training us from corporate. And Terry, I'm going to put you on the hot seat because I know that she talked a little bit about the e-commerce piece and what we would be able to do and not do.
Okay, hold on. I have to find it in my notes.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of lead up the softball pitch for you. So if you've got a customer that just sends you, hey, this is what I want,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and still handle things with her the way that you've always done.
Okay.
And that part's fine. It's not going to be a personal website per se, because it's going to be all part of that shop. It's the shop. And
Okay.
so if I have a customer that uses that, then basically the company is going to go ahead and process the order for her.
Right.
Now, if
Okay.
she wants to use the other methods to pay, that's how when you use Stripe, you have the options of what it is that you want to have. Do you want it to be your Apple Pay? Do you want it to be your Google Pay? Do you want it to be a credit or debit card? But Stripe is going to be the server that we use
Okay.
through this new platform. That's going to streamline things and make it really easy peasy, because the reason why they're doing this is because apparently they can see how many order baskets are still full from customers.
Oh, okay.
And there are tons and tons of customers whose orders don't ever come to pass. And so this is going to help that. So Terry, what do you got, baby?
So the company is going to be doing a lot more of the processing. So they're also going to do the fulfilling if they do it through my shop, which means you're not able to put in any of like the goodies and stuff like that.
Oh,
So definitely be aware of that one. And then we're not 100% sure or not, and I don't know if I can say this or not, but the shipping, Danny, is that okay if I tell them what we were told?
I'm not there right now because I didn't want to ask and like cause more questions. I think there's probably going to be some kind of something that we can adjust for shipping charges. Because like if somebody buys a lip gloss, you don't want to be paying for that shipping because then you've made no money, right?
Right.
right.
But what they're doing right now, it sounds like, is that it's an automatic. They are going to charge shipping if you shop that way. And
Okay.
for some people, maybe because they just don't want to talk to people and they just want to do it, it's worth the $5.95 or whatever it's going to be to not talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's okay. They're allowed. So that's the one piece that I think will be kind of interesting to kind of everybody work through. What else? What else you got there?
If they also do the My Shop, you're not able to fulfill from your personal inventory.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. Okay.
Okay. That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, there's plenty of times. I mean, because it's not saying we're still encouraged to carry inventory. Okay.
Right.
But what they are encouraging us to do is kind of be reasonable with what we have on hand. We don't
Right.
need to become the Western Division branch, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
But like the days of like, I don't, example, I do not carry a lot of fragrances because I don't sell a lot of fragrances.
I don't either. Yeah.
Need to have lots of that on hand. Only at holiday time do I have fragrance orders. I'm paring down the color because there's not a lot of color from which to work at the moment, right?
Right. Exactly.
There will be more color coming, hint, hint,
Yes.
and some of it will be regular line,
Goodness.
and it's going to be
Yay.
great. And it's going to be great. But in the meantime, it's kind of look through your stuff. Like the liquid eyeshadows, pull them because those have been retired.
I saw that.
Your favorite ChromaFusion colors that are the bright
I'm
colors.
going to buy 20 of every color.
Right? And I've got lots of those too. Those can instantly become giveaways, thank you gifts, and
Right.
when it's time for swag bags for customers, what would you
Yeah.
like a skincare or a color? Now they've gotten some retired ChromaFusion, or you can
There
call
you
it
go.
plastic ChromaFusion because it is, and it's still going to be a great product, and it's got a really long shelf life and all that good stuff. Waterproof mascara, the Love Lash waterproof. Don't
Right.
buy any more of that right now because a new version's coming next month.
Oh, a new version of it.
I'm currently wearing it.
So it's
Oh
gonna
my
be a
gosh,
new
it's so
version,
pretty.
waterproof.
And it's great. It's great. So just know that Danny's kind of fussy about her waterproof, and it's good.
Oh, okay.
And it will be a good seller as well. I'm trying to think of what else. You don't have to worry about of course, to keep an eyeball on your SPF products. Don't have
Right.
an abundance of those. But we have always been able to say a 3-year shelf life, and that's normally true. But some things like retinol has an expiration sometimes sooner than that, although the new 0.3 is going to last longer than the 0.5.
Okay, good to know.
And so and I've been using the 0.3, and it is definitely, and I've been using it every night because I did have that day, you guys, where it told me I needed all repair on a Skin Analyzer app, and I almost said I said a bad word, and I didn't. I said it, and then I was like, "All right, fine." And so I went over to it, full on repair, including the cleanser. I went in, and then today I took my analyzer, and it's been 3 weeks. It might have been a month. It might be a month now, and it shows that I should be back on 3D, or not 3D, but on TimeWise. And I was just like, "I'm just staying on repair now. It's over." I'm 50. I'm 50. It's time. Maybe I'll look like a baby's butt by the time it's over, and it'll say a skincare and not even the age fighting. Maybe that's what's going to happen when this is all done. I don't know. But the bottom line is, it's a lot that's coming our way, and it's all going to be okay.
Okay.
Okay. I know we talked a little bit about the Mary Kay store opening up on Amazon.
Yes.
And I do want to make sure I say it again, because I think for people that maybe are watching it on a replay later on or whatever, this is a good thing.
Yes.
Okay. And I've heard from so many nationals, because people, they hear that, and the first thing they think is, oh, great, Mary Kay is going to start selling it, on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. And that's not what's happening, because I want you to remember that any product that shows up on Amazon from an unauthorized seller, Mary Kay's already made the money on it.
Mm-hmm.
The company's been paid for it by the person who purchased it wholesale, right? So what they're doing right now is in protection of the sales force, because Ryan has been very frustrated by this whole thing, because it's been a whole game of whack-a-mole, because you catch one person and then another, 2 more people come up unauthorized selling. And it's not the people, and I've said this before, like if I get a satin hand set as a teacher gift and I don't like it, or I don't use Mary Kay and I put it on Amazon to sell it, I'm not a horrible person, but that's a third buyer seller and technically not authorized, right? But I'm not pretend I'm not a consultant. That's not who they're going after. They're going after the people that buy 75,000 lash intensity mascaras to the point where we don't have any in stock. And then you see them all on Amazon for more than what the retail cost was.
Yeah.
And those are clearly been purchased by consultants.
Oh, boy.
Directors / people that get caught and they're no longer in the company. Okay.
Right.
So, but they can't catch them fast enough. So what happens is, once this Mary Kay store is launched, because if you type in Mary Kay on a typical Google search, I think Amazon is what comes up first. I don't think it's marykay.com. So that's check it. I'm
going to try it.
Try it, Amy, because I don't think marykay.com is what comes up. Well,
it did, but it knows me.
Yeah, that could be.
But the second one is Amazon.
Okay, there you go. So if I'm not going on to marykay.com or InTouch and stuff, it probably is going to throw Amazon at the top of the of the search. So what happens is they've picked the 5 products. They've picked Time-Wise Repair. They've picked both Miracle Set versions, Extra Emollient Night Cream, and Oil-Free Eye Makeup Remover. Those are what they consider the 5 big sellers, which I find is hilarious that Extra Emollient Night Cream, the original moisturizer, is one of them. But that's okay. And all price points are higher than the suggested retail that Mary Kay charges.
Yeah.
So if they shop there, I mean, Mary Kay will fill it.
I'm gonna pay more.
They're going to pay more. And what's going to happen is any profits that Mary Kay makes is going to go into stuff for the sales force, whether it's additional stuff to help with legal, if it's additional stuff to help with us with prizes, or additional training, whatever. It's going back into the company, not into anybody's pocket, to help us. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's also apparently going to be a click that's like, if you want to shop Mary Kay not through Amazon, then they can find their consultant that way. And that's going to be cool. And that's the other thing too, you guys, in the new version of the shop, it's going to only have 2 zip codes.
Oh,
2.
okay.
Pick your 2.
Also, just okay.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to give you 5 anymore. It's just 2, and that's okay. It is. And so that's another reason why you want to be a star, if at all humanly possible, because if they're getting to do this through Amazon and they get to shop and find a consultant, because maybe they don't have one, and they type in a zip code and you come up because you're at the top of the Rolodex because you're a star, that's going to be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the bottom line is it's going to protect us, because now unauthorized sellers, once this store launches through Amazon, they're not going to have access to being able to sell it.
Right.
Does that mean Walmart and eBay are doing it? Yeah, but they're so far down on the list of people to go after. I think it's just going to start. The train will start. And the other cool thing is, if Ryan finds that this is not working, he can pull it at any time. He's not under any contractual obligation. He's not stuck. He can pull it. And I think that's really a comfort as well. But I think it's going to be nothing but good for us. And I think that the shop is going to be nothing but good for us, because imagine, if you will, young 20-somethings and early 30-somethings who don't like to talk to people.
Right.
This is a perfect way for them to shop. It's a perfect way for them to sell as a consultant. Okay. They're really trying. I mean, yes, they're still looking at those of us that are in, the 40s, 50s, 60s and up, right? Because we are a huge part of the sales force. However, we need the 20s and the 30s.
Yeah,
for sure. And so that's why I'm saying, this is it's not that they're only targeting the younger generation, but they are at the moment, because those are the ones that are jumping on TikTok and all of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind. So now that I've done all of that, I know that Friday and Saturday there was some fun stuff that went on, and I would like for people to share. I was only able to be there on Saturday because I got to go be mommy on Friday night and at my daughter's horn studio recital. And it was really good that Jeff and I were there, because at the beginning of the concert, there were 2 people there.
Oh,
What?
And me. And then 2 more people came in during the song. And when the professor came out, who we've known since he was a freshman in college, and he's a stud. He's the horn player with the Boston Brass, and he's the acting professor of horn. He goes, "I'm so glad that Ainsley told people about this concert." Because you had the Henderson Symphony concert, you had the art walk going, you had tons of stuff
Too much going on.
going on. But regardless, it was a great thing to hear them play, and they're doing a great job and all that. But I did miss the Friday night guest event, and Mary Jo from corporate, her flight got canceled. So we got trained by her on Zoom on Saturday, but she'd been on delay, cancel.
Oh, no.
Get back out to surprise everybody Saturday morning and just kind of arrive a little bit late and get a rental and get here and, and her flight got delayed right then, like that morning. She was up at 4:30 to get ready to go to the airport, and they delayed it, and she was like, all right, fine, I'm just meant to stay home and train on Zoom, and that worked out great for the Saturday piece. But I'm going to shut up and let you all talk. Tell me.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't either.
Then Terry, look at you, you get to tell me.
Yay, Terry!
I
Come on, Terry. Do tell.
It was a good group of people. I was there Saturday, so I only saw some of it.
It was good. So Friday night they did a lot of the training, and they actually, or not training, but they did more of the guest event and everything. They had 4 ladies that were there, and then there were a couple of other consultants. So it was good getting to connect with a couple of them while we were kind of in the background watching. And then Saturday was a lot. It was definitely, I have 6 pages of notes from just the training alone. And we did a lot of talking. We did a lot of everything. But it was good. It was very, very good. There was a lot. I don't know how detailed you want me to really be.
Well, what in all that training, what really popped out at you?
Hold please. Let me
Okay.
my notes.
Yeah, what really popped out at you that's like, oh, or if they had suggestions or whatever. Yeah.
I think a lot of it was going a little bit deeper into, not that Danny doesn't go deep into it, but going a little bit deeper into the different levels of everybody. And as far as being the STAR consultants and everything, and going into the Great Start Qualified program too. I know I missed it very, very much, but it's okay.
No, you didn't. You actually got bundles. You just didn't max out your bundles.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the girls that's there, she's getting ready to max out some of her bundles, which is good. So yeah. And then they also had a lady who was 24 hours in at the training too.
Nice.
She signed Friday night and came on Saturday for the training.
Awesome.
And there was, it was basically, you had your gamut of people. You had the less than 24 hours old. You had one that was about a month in. You had Terry.
No, there was a 6-monther.
6-monther. Okay. And Terry's a 1-yearer. And then you had the rest of the
years,
the bunch that have been around.
Seasoned.
Yeah. The seasoned. But what I liked, Mary Jo went over a lot of different things about the career path that I thought was very helpful. And I loved the fact that, you guys, you can be an elite team leader for the rest of your life. If you don't want to be a sales director, that's okay. But if you're building your customer base and you've got team members that are keeping you in red, getting you and keeping you, that's the big key, because getting to 3 active is great. 5 active is great because that keeps you in red a little bit longer. But what happens in order for you to maintain that red jacket status, it's because you have a lot of team members that are probably rotating through their activity level, whether it's active, inactive, T, whatever, what have you. And, I always think of it as, that 13% that you can earn as a team leader or elite team leader, plus those $50 bonuses, that ain't nothing. And that's stuff that you can, if the idea of being a sales director is daunting to you, do kind of shoot for that team leader, elite team leader position, because, it's not your job to train. It's your job to answer questions. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because sometimes people, as soon as they get team members, they feel like all of a sudden, they have to be the ones to take care of them. And you're their mentor, you're their recruiter, but it's my job to make sure that they get the training available to them. It's your job to kind of hold them in your pocket and get them there. Hey, you coming tonight? Hey, you coming to the guest event? Hey, you bringing a guest? That's kind of what you get to do, right? Because the longer they stay a running buddy with you, the better.
Right.
Because sometimes what happens, especially not that I'm going to blame COVID, but we're going to blame it. It was really hard during COVID because it was really if people didn't want to get on, they weren't going to get on.
Yeah.
And having guests on is tricky, and if you've got somebody that's trying to figure out how am I going to make this work, that's tricky, right?
Yeah.
And so the cool thing is you have the ability now to work all the ways. You can work in person, you can work hybrid, you can work only online, and it's totally, you know, based on your schedule, your energy level, you know, what your resources are, and you can do any of it or one of it, you know. So what do you think? Thoughts on that?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you guys, when we talk about the idea of becoming a sales director, it's not meant to scare people. And I think what happens sometimes is when you guys see our DIQs, they ask you you ask them how they are, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed." And you're like, "I don't want that. I don't want to be stressed. Look at that. I don't want that." And I just remember, I just remember going, I'm so excited. I'm just keeping busy. I don't know how it's going to come together, but it's going to come together. That was kind of my mantra. I don't know how it's going to come together, but it's going to come together. And I remember being told that DIQ is the work that you are doing as a director without being paid to be the director yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the piece that you got to remember. So you do the work, you become a sales director. Well, now you need to keep doing the work so that you can keep growing your unit and hit all the goals. And the company has these great promotions in place. Like every 3 months, they want to throw $3,000 at you, you know, as a new director. And it's not a ridiculous amount of stuff they're asking you to do. I only had 3 challenges when I was a new director, and I blew each one of them. It's like, because I was still doing both jobs at the same time, and they were both super busy and stressful, which the Mary Kay part wasn't really stressful. The busy job part was, but doing both at the same time was a little tricky. And it, you know, looking back on it, could I have done it better? Of course I could have. Could I have done it and streamlined it and got all the new director challenges? Probably, but my band probably wouldn't have been as good. You know what I mean? I had to make some little decisions there along the way. And I remember Rebecca kind of, you know, talking me off cliffs and things, just as far as keeping my brain on point to retire from teaching. Now, not everybody does. I mean, there are people that are, you know, principals of schools that are Mary Kay sales directors. You know, I mean, it's like there's people that are, you know, full-time corporate America still doing Mary Kay sales directors, you know. And so don't feel like you have to abandon a job that you love to do the other. Okay. And even if you're looking at terms, and I'm only thinking of Amy because Amy's doing, you know, middle school band is an entirely different animal than high school band. It's a massive amount of energy during the day and I felt like high school was like the slow drip, like a slow drip of blood that was just coming out of you, right? And when you're teaching with middle school, it's like a big gaping wound. You're just holding it together. And with little ones, I don't even know what to tell you, Phyllis, but it's an energy.
Oh, you have no clue.
I have a little bit of clue and a lot of respect because it's a different kind of energy, right? Where, you know, I still remember when Jeff would come home from teaching middle school, he'd take a little quick power nap so he could be a functional person because he'd come home just done, right? And you got to, you know, figure out, you know, balancing your health, balancing your schedule, all those good things. But it absolutely can be done. It's just being strategic in the planning piece of things. Yep. And that emotional management piece that I think is so tricky, because what happens when you miss a goal or something, or you lose something that you've attained, whether it's a red jacket, whether it's a car, whether it's directorship, whether it's, hey, you've had lots of offspring and now you have one offspring, you know, how do you show that you're resilient? You just keep going, right? And that's the thing. Like I thought about it because I was asked the question with the Reds on Saturday. Because we went without being a car unit for 9 months. Was it 9 months? Yeah, it was 9 months. And that was probably the lowest like Danny mentality feeling that I had as a leader, as a consultant, as a director. I felt like, well, gosh, now, what the heck? But the thing is the only way to get past that is to get back up and dust yourself off and get pissed off enough to not let it happen again.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was kind of, it's the grit. It's the grit. And so many people aren't going to remember what car somebody drove, or if they ever had a car, or how many times they've been in DIQ, or how many times they've been in and out of red, or how many times they've had 8 million offspring and now they have one. None of that matters. Because if it mattered a whole lot, I mean, there'd be a whole lot less people running around, right?
Yep.
And so I feel like we know this business works. We know it can do great things for our families and for ourselves. And I just love the fact that we have that BBA, we call it bounce back ability, to be able to get back up and go, okay, maybe yell a bad word and get back up, or yell a bunch of bad words or whatever. But there's all the self-help books in the whole wide world, but the bottom line is you've got to be the one to say, okay, let's go with whatever goal it is that you set, whether it's I'm going to hold this many parties, whether it's I'm going to sell this many adopted grandparents, whatever it is. And you not letting yourself off the hook, but if you have to change the date, that's not the end of the world either. Right. So that's my little, that's my TED talk. Thanks for coming. And so, but I thought it was a great time. There was some definite pivoting with Mary Jo being on Zoom. There was, it was looking at the agenda and me saying to Linda, I can train on that another time. She can train on that another time, do this, it was kind of because, that way I think things ran moderately on time, that everybody was able to, do what they needed to do with their Saturday, which I think was really important. So
yeah.
Good times for all, friends, right?
Yes.
It's true. Okay, so now let me see. Coincidentally, we're talking about emotional management tonight. Who knew? Who knew, indeed. All right, now I gotta see when I'm sharing the screen to a magical land called the PowerPoint, then I have to make sure I've got things set up differently than when I'm sharing to a keynote. Aren't you just so thrilled to know this?
Yeah.
It's just so magical. All right, and I just needed to have you guys tell me, do you see when I do the big screen here? Play from here. Are you seeing the full version?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we know that attitude is everything, right? And we've got here, we learn more from errors than from success. Isn't that the truth?
Yep.
It is. The Mary Kay Cosmetics marketing plan was formulated to correct errors I felt other companies had made. But as the wounded oyster mends itself with a pearl, so we have turned errors into pearls that make our company work. Success is failure turned inside out. If we ever compare knees, I think you'll find mine to be the bloodiest of all, because I have fallen down so many times and begun again. I began Mary Kay Cosmetics after 25 years in direct sales, was middle-aged, and a grandmother. She was 45, you guys, when she started the company. At 45, and now look at it. So, I mean, it's truly, I love the thought of, it's just failure is success turned in, or success is just failure turned inside out.
Yep.
So we know to quit comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself only to yourself. As I'm looking at myself and doing this too. Talking about your Mary Kay business with balcony people only. So that means, talk to me, you guys. Because if you're talking about it with each other, like in a power enabling kind of way, that's letting each other off the hook. Okay. I mean, you can talk about stuff, but you know what I mean. Don't be, I don't know. There's no whining. There's no cheese with wine in Mary Kay.
That's right.
That's right. Read or listen to something positive every day. And I think that's really important to maybe start your day with that because, you know, Diana Sumter said, do you start your morning with, oh God, it's morning, or do you start your morning with good morning, God? Which one is it? And just finding an opportunity in every obstacle, you know, like after I say my bad word, like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? You know, what do I need to be doing or changing in my thinking? Or it's not even necessarily what should I be doing? It's what should I be thinking? What should I, you know, responding? How do I respond? Those kinds of things. Oh, here we go. Are you a yabbit or an oh yeah kind of person? What's working? What am I great at? How can I overcome this obstacle? What do I need to change and who can support me? I said this to both of my kids today because they both tend to, when they mess up, they call themselves idiots or dumb or whatever. And my kids are far from dumb. And it's not rose-colored glasses. I got smart kids. But I said to them, I said, why don't you start saying that's not like me when something like that happens? Or I don't normally do that. What's up with that? You know, because that's not nearly as, oh, you idiot. Because then it's self-talk, right? Anyway, so that's that whole self course correction.
Nice.
But here's where we end up. Somebody will say, nobody wants to book. I can't get anyone to buy. This doesn't work. I can't, whatever. I'm too busy. I can't afford it. And basically whatever you focus on is where your brain is going to go.
Yep.
So you gotta keep in that, oh yeah, like the Kool-Aid man. That's what we should get, t-shirts with giant oh yeahs on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So these are words that, this is like what I was talking about with the kids. Exchange, I'm busy, for I'm purposeful. It's hard, to it's challenging. Exchange, I react, to I respond. I have to, I choose to. I'm stressed, I'm stretching. I can't, I can find a way. Those are so important, you guys, or I get to instead of I have to. That's a good one too. Okay. Then, but wait, where did my cursor go? There we go. More affirmations. And this is stuff that I would love for you to, you know, they don't have to be, you know, pages and pages of affirmations, but you know, I am statements. I'm powerful. I'm attracting. I'm bold. I'm faithful. I'm positive. I'm healthy. I'm a successful consultant. I'm progressing forward. There's tons of these other power phrases in here, and I will pull this and share this with you guys in a pic so that you can see it. It's these are kind of fun. You know, I love phone time. I schedule it every day. I'm good at making money. I'm a businesswoman. I'm good at helping others make money. I'm filled with God's supernatural abundance every minute of the day. My life is overflowing with opportunity. I'm living a life of courage every minute of the day. I like being able to say, I'm a master booker. Everyone wants to hold a party with me.
Yep.
And say it with a smile, because when you say these things, this is the other thing. You don't want to have the other part of your head going, yeah, right. Okay. Because if I'm just going to sit here and say, you know, I'm the director of I'm a Cadillac unit in the making. That's something that I can say and not, yeah, but myself, or yeah, right, myself. But that's definitely the rephrase in my head to keep that negative garbage out.
Right.
We are building a Cadillac unit by June 30th. Does it look right on paper right now? Heck no. But that's what we're doing. We're going to get there, and we're going to do it, and it's going to be awesome sauce. But it's really just coming up with these ways. You know, think about it. Do you have fun at parties? Do you have a good time when you're holding a party?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't other people want to hold a party with you?
They're
It's-
just not as smart as me.
They're not as smart as you because you're super fun and you absolutely they should want to have a party with you. And if they don't, they're missing out. Because you're a lot of fun.
They just need to know how easy it is.
Right.
I think they're all scared that they have to do stuff.
Oh my gosh. That's where you sit there and go, what did you guys all just see
You
what
don't
I
have to
just
do
did?
anything.
Yeah. Look at what I just did here. You know, I mean, seriously, like, I mean, Amy has seen me do this on multiple times that she was a hostess before she became my consultant. And I would say, you know, at every skincare class, Mary Kay always said that there is one future beauty consultant at every appointment. I wonder which one of you is going to be. And I would look around and then I added in like after a while, because I would feel awkward too. I like pause. It gets really awkward for a second. And then I pretend that it's in the flip chart. It says, allow for awkward laughter. And, you know, allow pause for awkward, you know, whatever. And people would laugh and then be like, okay, you know what? It may not be for you, but I want you to watch and see what I do and see if it could be something that you could see yourself doing. And so I'm going to stop the share for a second because I wanted to make sure that Terry got to see Susan teach skincare on Friday, right?
And Linda.
And Linda did it. Okay. So Linda was my consultant.
Yeah.
Okay. And Linda's skincare classes, I mean, I was a hostess for her a few times before I signed up. Susan does a great skincare class too. I've seen Amy teach a skincare class. She does a great job. I've seen Phyllis teach a skincare class. She does a great job. But every single one of us is a little bit different.
Right.
And I'm pretty good at my skincare classes too. So, but like what I think of is like, I have done it so many times that it wouldn't matter how tired I am, how stressed out I am with home life, how crazy I don't feel good or whatever. If you put me in front of a room of ladies, I would do a skincare class like in my sleep. Because, and my example for that was my first year as a director. I was still teaching because it was the exit year. And we had a lot of directors at the studio and they wanted to have people, you know, doing the training, like the subjects, you know, and no one would ever put me on a subject. And the reason, and at first I was like, why aren't they putting me on a subject? I was always just doing skincare. And I was like, why are they doing this? And then finally somebody said, well, Danny, you're exhausted. And we know that no matter how tired you are, you can go in that room. If we tell you you have 45 minutes or we tell you you have 25 minutes, you can get a skincare class done in whatever time we tell you have and get them back in the room. And I was like, and at first I was kind of like miffed, right? But then I heard what they said and I was like, oh, okay, which is true. You know, I remember one time we did a guest event and it was huge. The place was packed. And Rebecca said to me, you have 15 minutes. And it was like 20 people in the room.
Wow.
And wow. I mean, there was not a lot of talking. It was put this on, take this off, put this on, put this on, put this on. How's your face feel? It was not a lot going on, but it was seriously, it was like, get those 25 people or 20 people back in the room. And they were all happy with how their faces felt. So everything was cool, you know, but being able to do it enough so that people could see you do it and see you mess up and see that you do it and see you mess up and know that they can do it too.
Right.
It's not rocket science, right?
No.
No. I've seen rocket scientists. We are not that. It's true. Okay, we're going back to the screen. Look at that. It's there. Okay. Emotional management. What's that? Okay. We run this puppy multiple times a day for some of us.
Yeah.
Some of us, it's multiple times in a month or seasonal or whatever. Linda has suggested at times that it coincides with our cycle. I don't know if that's true, but you know, I don't know. We'll have to ask someone. Check their calendar and let us know. But you know, when you're a new consultant, you attend meetings, you're super excited, you're thinking, I can do this. Then stage 2 is frustration because you've got cancellations and obstacles and maybe friends and family who don't want to book. Then 3 is that shock when they say, the infamous they said it would be so easy. Now I want you to remember this. It is simple, right? having the parties, the easy part. It's a simple business, but it's definitely, it tests our emotional management for sure. Okay. Stage 4 is the denial, where we withdraw, we procrastinate, we avoid meetings, we cook or sleep or rearrange message magnets on our refrigerator, or, whatever, doing whatever we want that's not coming to a meeting. Okay. Coming into that spot of fear of, I can't do it. Maybe it isn't for me. Selling isn't for me. And then you get to anger part 1, and it's so big that you've got anger part 1 and part 2. Anger part 1 is, why didn't they tell me? They lied to me, where you blame the company, your recruiter, your director, and everybody but yourself. And I feel like blame's the wrong word, but we're going to go with it for now because it's the fastest way to explain it. And then you've got stage 7, part 2, where you get angry at yourself and admit and recognize your feelings and that you are responsible. And I love it because it goes right into stage 8, where you start telling yourself, it is not like me to not reach my goals and be discouraged. Be realistic. You get back to stage 1 and you stay there. And this is the part that I think is so important, you guys. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that sales directors go through this too. And I would bet nationals sometimes go through this from time to time. They probably either go through it less often, or they isolate it and go, oops, I'm at frustration. Let's get back to stage 8. And they just, it's like Monopoly. They just, bypass it and go right over to stage 8 and get done with it. Because you can bypass you can cut over to stage 8 and get there. No problem. Okay. So I want you to know, have I been there? Yes. And I'm not kidding. I've been there for sure. And I know you guys have all been there because I've watched you sometimes be there. And the key is to get yourself back on the horse whenever you have those moments of doubt. Reminding yourself of when did you feel the most successful so far in your business? Was it when you were a star? Was it when you got into a red jacket? Was it when you were Great Start qualified? Was it when you had your first appointment and people bought stuff? Was it when you had $1,000 party? Think back to when you felt the most powerful and the most successful. And that's where I want you to be grabbing onto. And seriously, you've got to remember those kinds of wins, because you remember it's wins are just like a bubble sheet. You don't have as many wins as you do losses. Losses, you probably have a lot more losses. This is why we're not brain surgeons, right? We might be baseball players more than brain surgeons, but that's all I'm saying. But it's really focusing on the wins, and don't but it and say, but that was X number of months ago or X number of years ago, or well, this was happening or that was happening. No. Focus on the actual win itself.
Yeah.
What happened? How did it feel? What were you super excited about? What did you do to get there? And how can you repeat it? Being wiser now than you were then. Okay. It's not about, I was, for me, it was 15 years ago. No. It can be, whenever. So that's my thing there. So I want you to remember that when you're frustrated, reach out, forgive yourself, forgive others quickly, attend everything that you can, never give up, be willing to change, adjust, pivot. Remember what your purpose is. Seriously, you guys, I feel like it really is like when I was at seminar with Christine Ali, we were rooming together and she was like, what do you think your focus is this year? And I was like, I want to empower women's confidence. I want them to be confident. And so that's that whole empowering confidence, one face at a time, like little logo that we made. That is for our whole unit for this year and beyond, because that's what we do here. Okay. We're going to focus on others. We're going to feed your mind, heart, and spirit daily. And you need to trust that higher powers are here for you for a purpose. Okay. The mental bath, I still need to change some of the words on here because we don't have tapes anymore.
Right.
And I was trying to fix it fast and I couldn't fix it. But this was Tammy Craik's, one of her 2 huge things that she did
Yes.
her business that put her on the map in Mary Kay. And the first one was the bubble sheet, where you've got 56 circles, just randomly, that's what it was. And when you make 56 phone calls, you're going to get 8 to 10 yeses. And from there, you get your bookings. Okay. So it's not a deal where you make 5 phone calls. When you get 5 no's, you just go empty the dishwasher. It's you make the calls, right? So a mental bath is basically setting yourself up, and you can start it this last week of October. And I would love for you to take it into all of November. And there's a prize involved if you complete it in 5 of 7 days each week. Okay, because I know that there are a couple of days during the week that it's not going to happen, and that's okay. Okay, so you're going to try a booking, whether it's a day or a power hour or a full hour booking calls, or getting 5 bookings in the week, which sounds like a lot, but I want 5 to be the start of it. And if you get 1, then hot diggity dog, that's a win. But I want your goal to be more than 1. Okay. Affirmations, having an affirmation about how awesome you are. And I know I'm going to say this quietly because Ainsley's not home, but she could she'll hear the words. ChatGPT can help you create an affirmation if you're struggling.
That's how I did my NEPF this year.
Whatever it takes.
Cheated on it.
Ainsley, being an English degree holder, really has a hard time with ChatGPT because she's like, just write for the love of God, just write. She gets really mad about this, but sometimes I use it too. Shh, don't tell anybody, but I do. And so go ahead and use it to help come up with a mantra for yourself. What is it? Where is it that you want to be by the end of seminar? By the end of the seminar year, by June 30th, do you want to be in a red jacket? Do you want to be a star consultant for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarters? Are we in the 2nd quarter? Yeah, we're in the 2nd quarter.
2nd quarter, yep.
Do you want to be, an elite team leader? What is it that you want? Do you want to be in the Princess Court of Sales, National Court of Sales? What is it? Okay. Come up with an affirmation for yourself. Okay. And then say it out loud. Okay. Having this part would be a training material, whether it's on InTouch, so exchange tape for training. Okay. Training, positive influence, input, listening to a Mary Kay tape or other positive tape, 15 minutes daily. It could be anywhere. I mean, there's tons of stuff on InTouch, but just some form of training. Think through all that MK Confidence stuff that you got to get done. 15 minutes a day. That's some training there. The hotline, do the $1 million message. We don't have the hotline anymore because, technology, but we do have the $1 million message, and that you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook, and it's just phone call messages, but they record it. And every Monday through Friday is a different, either national or a national's daughter who does those messages. And they're anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes, not long. I mean, sometimes I can listen to it while I'm putting on my makeup. And then if you want to be bathed, it's exercise and devotional. Okay. But the idea is you do this for a month and be consistent in it with, scheduling the days you're not going to do it. Okay. But you're going to see a change in your mental attitude and your emotional management, and you're just going to feel better. The end. The end. I'm quitting my PowerPoint. The end. So I know some of you have heard that little ditty many, many, many times. What kind of takeaway could you get from what I babbled about today?
I was just thinking, I know when it's my problem.
Okay.
I know that it's me. Like when you were doing that cycle, I was like, no, I just like skip right over. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I know it's me. I know I'm not doing it.
Okay. Good.
So,
Good. Springboard. Go back to 8. Yeah, I love it.
because I have seen it work. I do know that it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah. So
Yeah. It's like you got to remember, you guys, this business is a game of shoots and ladders.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it really
Not
is.
Candyland. It's not you know, like, is it hungry hippos? Sometimes, but it's much more like shoots and ladders. Like you're going along and everything's great, and then all of a sudden, phew, you know. So it's a crazy thing. I did want to let you guys know, and I will share it with you guys. Marcia Michard's husband passed away last week.
Oh no.
Oh.
He'd been ill for a while. I mean, Marsh has been in and out of the hospital for the past year as well. And I do know Donna went over with her to kind of check on her and take her to the funeral home and things like that. They're not going to have a funeral per se, but rather than, because the first thing we always think of is, what do we need to bring for food? What do we need to bring for, do we need a plant? What do we need? And Donna and I, having talked about it, thought that the best thing we could do is, if anybody's wanting to contribute to, like, we're going to get her like a housekeeper or cleaner to kind of clean the house. But Donna and I are going to go in first and like clean up some stuff first. And she's got relatives coming in from Arizona to help her. So that's under control. Terry Morales, who some of you guys met at the Christmas party last year, her son is fighting cancer.
Oh wow.
And he's a grown adult. I think he's in the police force. I get her sons confused. And her mom passed away, like in a very short time here. So that's going on. And then Robin Harris, my dear friend, your dear friend from Cedar City, Utah, her dad passed away last week.
Yeah, so that.
And that had been, expected, but still not easy. But she's been spending huge chunks of time in St. George over the past, 6 months for sure. But her mom was there, her sister and she were both there. So it was very peaceful and all that. But if you guys need addresses and things like that for any kind of condolence cards you want to ship that way, I'm sure they would all appreciate that. I'll make sure you guys have access to that. I just won't put them in the email.
Okay.
And that way you guys can do that. And I'll let you know on the other, because I know Rebecca had reached out and said, what do we need to do? And I said, we're just going to, for Marcia, I said, we're just going to hang tight and see, once Donna has gotten in there to assess, we'll figure it out and go from there. So good times. It just makes me like count your blessings.
Amen.
Give your people extra hugs. And tell them you love them and all that good stuff too, because you never know. It's a scary, scary world. But just know how much I love you guys, and I appreciate you, and I love that you guys come on here every week and let me, do my crazy stuff. This means Trish has been on with a brand new consultant during this hour, which is kind of like our goal, is to be able to have one Zoom be for one meet and be for new consultants and one meet and be for seasoned consultants.
Oh, okay.
So, because we're kind of like, hey, we had lots of fun when we used to do it that way. And I was like, yeah, we totally did. So we're going to mess with that. And we're also going to still have those, the Saturday mornings at 8:30 in the morning. If anybody has new, as you get new consultants, that's going to be something we can encourage them to attend, because there's about 5 of us. There are 5 of us that do the training on that. And that'll be super fun as well. But I'm looking ahead on the calendar. We will have meetings through November, in November on Mondays, no problem, because even though Veterans Day is on a Tuesday, we'll still have meeting on the 10th. I'm debating what to do about Christmas as far as where, because everything falls kind of in a weird spot.
Yes.
But I know we're still gonna do stuff. I just got to figure out what for December. It'll be fun. Okay. And with that, my friends, go manage your emotions. And take these next, we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days left to get really big goals reached. You get new products from me when you hit 250 or more on your wholesale, and Look at my eyes. Can you see prettiness?
Yes,
Gorgeous.
I've been admiring them.
Well, some of that is stuff you can get.
Oh,
Just throwing it out there, friends. Okay. Well, I love you guys. Go out there and have $1 million week, okay?
love you
Okay,
too.
bye.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.